Hey, everybody, the world's a better place because you're here to join us. My name is Matt Brown. I'm the host of the Productive Conversations podcast. It is a Wednesday, the 23rd of April. We're checking in to talk about the NBA playoffs up until this point with me and fresh faces. What's up, faces? Good to see you.
It was good to see you too. Do you want to also just hit they announced the first official award being the sixth man as well?
Yeah, I saw that. Peyton Pritchard gets the nod. And just before we get into that, just a quick reminder to like and subscribe to the Productive Conversations podcast on all podcast platforms and YouTube. And don't forget to check out exclusive content regarding the show across all social media platforms or on Instagram at Productive Conversations Podcast, X at Twitter at ProdConfoPod, TikTok at Productive Conversations, and Facebook at Productive Conversations. And as always, check out the Green Tea Elixir Company Magic Mind for the ultimate green tea shot that will improve your mental health and your mental clarity and focus by going to magicmind.com/PCLT20 for 48% off your first subscription or 20% off your first one-time purchase. So before anything and before we quickly hit on the early games of the 2025 NBA postseason, Peyton Pritchard gets your sixth man of the year win. How you feeling about that? Is it well deserved on a run where the Celtics have a good shot of at least winning the East and maybe even repeating?
I think Beasley should have won.
Hmm.
I just do, and I'm going to say this for a bias reason. Victor is still the defensive player of the year. Like he played 46 games and he won the block title. Like
That
he's
is some big word. That is a bold statement.
this is the only way anyone else basically is going to win it for the next his existence
Hmm.
is he just gets hurt.
So, like how we've seen other MVP considerations, they might not want to give it to the same person. They give who's ever next. Um, Something like that. You'll
No,
just
because
need
his
Victor
his
Wembanyama.
defensive thing is just there because the stats to end the season, they were like somehow the last like month or so. First of all, the last month of the season is like the most like incoherent time of basketball like ever. Because no, like there's like 7 or 8 teams that just don't give a fuck anymore, and you're
Hmm.
playing like Joe Schmo off the street 35 minutes a game, and then you get Pat Connaughton drops 41. So there's a lot of noise in those numbers. But they were like the number one most efficient team offensively and like the worst defense in the league the last like month of the season without him. Like it just didn't make any sense.
And just patiently waiting for a new pick to come your way, especially if the Grizzlies implode. And then we're recording amongst game 2 of the Bucks and Pacers and game 2 of Grizzlies Thunder, just to
Well,
keep
we
numbers.
can pretty much call that series.
Yeah, these two for Grizzlies Thunder, there's no chance on this one. I expect a sweep. I don't even expect a gentleman sweep. And then the Bucks and the Pacers, even with the return of Damian Lillard, it seems that it might be too late. And the Pacers keep on rolling and are really growing with their core right now.
Yeah. I mean, look, so we'll probably talk about Thunder in a minute, but for the Bucks Pacers, I have been very consistent with this point. There's players in the NBA who you have a moral obligation to root against and should not be in the league. Miles Bridges is one of them. Kevin Porter Jr. is the other. So at least Miles Bridges in the Hornets will he'll never experience basketball success. Um, but Kevin Porter Jr. being on the Bucks, you just have to root against them. Um, I mean, it's unfortunate for Giannis, who's just been fucking awesome. Like, he's just unbelievable. Uh, like he's like in this era where like the previous era was like KG, Dirk, and Duncan, and in this era it's like Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis. Like he's been so fucking like we take for he's basically 36 and 12 and 6+ assists for like 7 years. It's
Especially
just,
when healthy.
yeah, like it's bonkers. Also, this team is terrible. Like this Bucks team is terrible. Um, the idea that Bobby Porter said this is better than the title winning team is just asinine. Um,
You needed something to hype that bench up, but you would agree with the writing on the wall that Giannis is going to be gone.
I listen, unless he's the ultimate like yeah, man, I'm just ride or die. I don't give a shit. Like I got my title. I'm not like I don't care about winning anymore because they're not. They have no way to get better like at all. They just have to wait for like Brooke Lopez to come off the books, and then Dame is going to be they're going to be paying Dame like $60 million for the next 2 years or some crazy
Mhm.
ass shit. So unless somebody randomly wants him for I don't even know like Orlando, or if Orlando strikes out on like Trey and Ja um and uh and LaMelo, like it like who's going to be trading for Dame at this point? And the Kyle Kuzma trade, who
Well,
congratulations to Kyle
22
Kuzma for
minutes,
having
zero,
statistics in this game. Um
22 minutes, 0, 0, 0, 0, pure cardio, as they say.
yeah, I don't know how like what who in the Bucks front office was like, you know what we should trade for? Kyle Kuzma, who regardless of like the fact that like he hasn't played winning basketball in like 3 years, wasn't even good this season.
Hmm.
Like a
And
semi-healthy Chris Middleton was torching the Bucks this Pacers team last year. Like he can't be worse than that. Like there had to have been something. Also, they gave up AJ Johnson, who while maybe he's not good now, he might be good like in 2 years when you don't have Dame. And also, you kind of need another point guard because Dame recovered from blood clots like faster than medically possible.
they're
Like,
desperate to get him in there. Well, we have seen incompetent GM work this year, as you know, faces. And how about with including that, just for reference, how about Nico Harrison openly admitting to not knowing how big of a player Luca was to that community, which included a press conference where he chose the media members, and still the bad PR gets out.
look, it is the single worst trade in NBA history. Now, there's two things to this. One, either fire him or tell him to stop talking to the media, or have him when he's talking to the media just say, "Hey, look, we're talking about the guys on the team," because there's just there's nothing you can say that's defensible about what happened with this trade. The best case scenario for him is the Timberwolves beat the Lakers, and then somehow Luka decides like I'm not going to be a Laker. Like that's the best case scenario for him. Um, and like end of story. The other thing to this is like apparently Stephen A. Smith, on top of thinking he's going to be president, which is fucking ridiculous, says
Yeah, you
Nico
really do,
Harrison
huh?
is the worst GM in at least NBA history, which is such like an insane thing to say with such like a lack of understanding of just like history of the just the league. Like Robert Sarva would just sell picks to save money. Like we had David Kahn. There's a rule named after the old Cavs GM where this is why teams are not allowed. It's called the Stephen rule. It's why teams are not allowed to trade picks in back-to-back years because he traded away so many picks so poorly that the league had to intervene because he ruined a team for an entire decade. Like the idea that Nico Harrison is the worst GM in basketball history is fucking ridiculous. Like that was a bad trade. But, he got the Kyrie thing right. He got the PJ Harrison thing or PJ Washington thing right. He got the Daniel Gafford thing right. Like they did they had Dante Exum. They brought Dante Exum back. Um, he may have traded Quentin Grimes for Caleb Martin or whichever Martin is on that team. But, everybody swings and misses. They don't make the worst trade of all time, but he's not like I don't know if he's one of the top 20 worst GMs of all time in basketball, but he is not the worst.
And so far history will support this, but I don't think you're wrong. And also just a GM that ruins a community that truly rips the heart out of your fan base. I think that's
This
the
is
ultimate L in here.
this is the most destructive thing a GM has done to a fan base, short of moving a team.
Yeah.
Like, just straight, like short of moving them out of Dallas, I don't know if they could have inflicted more damage to the community than this.
Like we said, and it's been reported that even the economy of Dallas even took a hit. And I don't know if you follow hockey. They have the Dallas Stars, who's one of the best NHL teams. That might be the savior for them. They almost made the Stanley Cup last year, and they're really good now. but that's it.
But I
And
mean, they have the Cowboys. The Cowboys are just always worth money, regardless of how inept they are.
true, true. That is true. That'll
Um,
save them, but
well, I mean, they're gonna
regardless,
look.
though,
They're gonna
still,
figure out how to get Shador, and then Coach Sanders will happen, and then it'll be a big media circus, and who knows?
your lips are God's ear. I don't want the Giants to go near that. Um,
I
but
think they're gonna get Carter, but that's.
hey, add to that pass rush.
I
You need
really
the
like
skill
the
players right now for the Giants.
I like the what's it called? The Jameson Winston signing. Like that's that like straight up that's like they're gonna be fun. They may not be good, but they'll be fun.
For sure, especially with the hot seat that front office is in and coach. It is interesting. But back to the basketball though, with also don't forget too, the big acquisition for Dallas themselves with AD and hiding the abdomen injury that took out a month of his season too. Just Nico
Look,
Harrison.
if you yeah, but if you want to talk about incompetence, the Philadelphia the Phoenix Suns couldn't even make the play in. Like the Mavericks
Yeah, and they
basically
did.
almost had to forfeit games, and the Suns were essentially like Katie missed some time, and Bradley Beal sucks, but they were more or less healthy, and they could be the 10th seed. Like this Kings, think of how dysfunctional this Kings team is, and this Mavericks team, and the Phoenix Suns couldn't be better than them. They were just they were awful, and like what when we talk about Houston, like Phoenix is almost assuredly going to be trading Kevin Durant to Houston, like almost assuredly. Um, the question is just what the asset is. Like he's not going anywhere else, unless Oklahoma City decides to give him like 8 first rounders. Uh,
Why don't we stick to that with the Houston and Golden State 2 versus 7 matchup, where a lot of people have the Warriors as the favorite, and they also have won game one so far. Do you think it's just a matter of getting your minutes in the playoffs, gaining your experience, playing with house money with Houston, even with the home court advantage and the higher seed, while you're going up against a determined playoff Jimmy and still Steph being Steph? With still that core they have there.
so there's two things with this. Yeah, they're playing with house money. Like this isn't, but there's a couple teams that are playing with house money. Like they're ahead of schedule. They were. I mean, they were 41-41 last year. Um, and then because they got that like month long heater from Jalen Green, and now
Yes.
like their problem is their half court offense is dog shit, like just straight up terrible. But they have what one of the 3, 4 brightest futures in the um in the league. Like it's them, Oklahoma City, and like what San Antonio. Because they have all of Phoenix's picks. They still have super like this team is so deep. The number 3 overall pick couldn't play for them, and he was good. Like he's good. He's just stuck. Um,
Yeah, right.
they have Ahmed Thompson, who they realize is just like an absolute animal. But for Houston, the way that they have to win is kind of similar to how Minnesota is going to beat the Lakers if they beat the Lakers. They're really fucking big. Like and Golden State is a small team. So when they made their comeback, it was with that double big lineup. And I think they just go because you have 3 rotational bigs at least. You have Adams, you have Sengun, and you have Jabari Smith Jr., who in theory, Jabari can spread the floor around Adams, and you throw Tari East and let him just chase the rebounds. Like they're an unbelievable offensive rebounding team, and they're just so much bigger than the Warriors. Even if you can't hit water falling out of a boat. Eventually, if you get like 15 extra possessions a game, or some like let's say you get 5 extra possessions in a game. These games are going to be rock fights. It was 95 to 85. Like this is going
Yeah,
to
it
be
was
a low
awesome.
scoring game. You want as many possessions as you possibly can. And who knows, maybe you force them to play Jonathan Kuminga, who they had no desire to play. Like Quentin Post is not going to get rebounds. And Looney's not big enough to box both of them out. So that's what they have to do is basically just be size because your half court offense is terrible. Jalen Green is not that guy. He just doesn't appear to have the ability to break free in the way that you need a wing lead creator. And it's not Fred VanVleet, certainly not Dylan Brooks. And Amen Thompson, even though he's a better athlete than literally everybody else on the planet, cannot shoot like for shit. And this is not like where they talk about guys who can't shoot. Yeah, it's not um like Dylan Brooks can't shoot. He's not a good shooter. Ahmed Thompson is like 18% from 3-point range. He is a like
18. Hmm.
god, like him and his brother cannot shoot for anything. Granted, why would you bother learning how to shoot when you could just literally jump over everybody at every level you played? Um, but no, the Rockets, they're like Udoka's a good coach. There's a lot of animosity in this matchup. The team that like if the Warriors come out of this, they're gonna get beat. They're gonna be beat to hell. Coming out of this series. I honestly have no idea who's gonna win this. This one is one of the. This is not the hardest one to pick, but like there's so many. Like the Rockets could just be like, oh, we're younger and bigger than all of them, and just roll over them for the next 4 games. Like this was what happened, like 10 years ago when Oklahoma City was playing the Spurs. I think it might have been the 67 win team. I don't know, maybe before that. Um, where the Spurs won the first 2 games, and Oklahoma City's like, "Oh, we're actually bigger, longer, and more athletic than you," and they just ran them out of the gym the next 4 games. Like that could very easily happen with Houston, or they could realize that Steph Curry just destroys this team every single time, and they're just better veterans, and they do this. Like I don't know. It. I would love to see. I think the NBA is definitely would be more appreciative of the Golden State going forward because we're looking at a potential Golden State Lakers matchup in the next round, and they definitely want that more.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But I think you make some good points there. I do think the Warriors will still pull it off based on their experience. And as I said before, and Jimmy, I really think playoff Jimmy could
Can
be
I?
a huge factor there. Yeah.
But like when we're talking about experience, Steven Adams played Steph Curry like in the Western Conference Finals like a decade ago. Like he's not like never played in like I mean, yeah, the younger guys haven't, but they have like a lot of Dylan Brooks has made the playoffs for years. I think he has like 50 playoff games under his belt. There's like
Right.
but I mean, yeah, the younger guys. Fred VanVleet won a title against Steph Curry. Like a
That's
lot of their
right.
main guys, like yeah, their younger guys don't do it. The problem is the guys who have already been there, they're not going to get you a bucket. Like
Mhm.
you're going to ISO Dylan Brooks. That's what the Warriors want.
Yeah. Well, regardless though, I do think you make some great points there, especially the fact about this the mixture of veterans they have with their younger core. I just think we're just gonna go with, the coach with 4 rings and a team that is really coherent right now and has been really good on offense, especially even with the low, even though these games you would bet the unders with, I just believe Golden State has the edge over them. But you also mentioned how the other matchup with the Lakers and Timberwolves are the matchup right next to them. And Minnesota coming off with a big blowout victory over the Lakers at home, on the road. Do you think that was a fluke? Do we think that there's anything to that? Or the Lakers just have to, or the Lakers just have to make their big adjustments from game one to game two?
Well, the question is, what is the adjustment going to be? Because the thing is also like Houston, Minnesota's just bigger, like just across the board. Like they have just bigger guys that they can just pound the boards with, or just muck things up. Now, granted, what was it? McDaniels and Nasri hit like what 12 threes or some like absurd number together in game one. Like that shit's not going to happen every game. However, like half of their threes were wide open, like straight up wide open. Like they have to play better defense. Um,
In a man to
the
man one.
or yeah, they have to play better defense. Like the Lakers can't get bigger. That's they're really like, and they're not going to play Jackson Hayes more. Um, so their options are basically like shift LeBron down to the center and try those teams, or I don't know. Alex Len might still be on this team. I can't remember if he might have been. He was there when I watched them against Brooklyn a couple of months ago. But like they're just gonna have to be better defensively. And the Timberwolves are like awesome. Now the Timberwolves do have a problem. Your second best player may be Julius Randle. And as a Knicks fan, you know all of the pumpkin warts that come with Julius Randle in the playoffs.
Exactly. He's nowhere the same player and gets pushed around a lot too.
Right. So, however, they do have the silver lining of Julius Randle's very clearly not the best player on this team. Like I
Yeah.
think in New York he was always like I'm the best guy, and Ant is fucking awesome. Like this Ant
Even when
season
he
was
collects the fines, you saw he got over $300,000 in fines made
I don't care.
official.
I think one of my favorite things this season is when Ant does something just absurd and then just blacks out and does like the one of my favorite plays this season was when they were playing Oklahoma City and he blocked Shea in the middle of the play and then started flexing on him while the play was still happening and Shea had the ball in front of him. He's just like in he the level of skill and how good Ant got this year is just like not talked about enough. He led the league in three-pointers made and also had 400 plus free throws. Like he was like fourth in the list. Like he's unbelievable. Um, and he's done like a fantastic. This is a team that's like does not care. He is like them playing Oklahoma City in the Western Conference Finals would be awesome. Like this is a very good team. I think if they had kept Cat, they would still be a very good team. I think they'd probably still be a better team. Um, but I would not be surprised to see them come out of this. But then again, LeBron is awesome, at least at the playoffs. Although I don't know how much he's got left. And Luka just hates Gobert. Everyone hates Gobert.
Mhm. And
So
also Austin Reeves could be an X factor in the series too. He's made somewhat of a breakout season as not a mega star, but definitely a three in that core right there.
yeah, but like you know, how many guys could you slot into that off Austin Reeves spot behind LeBron and Luka and be like, go get me 25 occasionally? Like 30 people?
Not a lot, but one thing as Brian Windhorst especially complained about how Dallas didn't bring him in the trade to somewhat even
Oh
out a
yeah,
little more.
yeah,
But I do think he's a good player.
yeah. No,
He's
he
gonna be
is a good
someone
player.
he's
I
gonna
don't
really
think
grow into something.
well, unfortunately, it's not going to grow. Like that's the
It's
problem the
just
Lakers have. They're just smaller, and it was the problem that they saw after they traded AD, and it's why they tried to get Mark Williams, which I'm still perplexed by how the end result of that was Mark Williams instead of just like a dozen other guys that wouldn't have taken the Lakers first rounder and Dalton Connect. Who I don't know. I guess you're not going to play Dalton Connect in this series because who the hell is he going to guard? Mike Conley? Mike
yeah,
Conley's like a
no
bajillion years
need.
old. I'm pretty sure he'd still torch him.
Now, the last Western Conference matchup to talk about, the series has already had two incredible games back to back against each other, Denver and LA Clippers right now.
Oh, can we just do Oklahoma City because that'll take 2 minutes? Um,
Yes, okay, if you want, we could hit that real quick with OKC and Memphis.
if Memphis loses any game by less than 20, they can hang it up next to their fake banner if we were the 2 seed 4 years ago. Um, like they lost the game by 50. It's like the third worst loss in NBA playoff
Yeah,
history.
that's all that was.
Um,
It officially was.
there's no coming back from that.
A
Like,
game where Shea was off too.
yeah, Shea was not good. Like, there's no coming back from that. And I think Memphis should realize, oh shit, like you're not even close to the peak of this conference anymore. You haven't been close for years. Like even when they were the 2 seed, they only won like one playoff round. And it was when they played like the Anthony Edwards Timberwolves in like his second season. Um, but like they're not close to these teams, and I don't know what you do. Like them going into this playoffs, getting their ass kicked by Oklahoma City, is made worse by the fact because they made the playoffs, they lose their first round pick to Oklahoma City.
Isn't that an
So
insult?
you're
With an
handing
interim head
this,
coach too. And John Morant still pretending to shoot people.
but Bill Ja was part of the problem. He missed half the season. Like
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
just
know
saying on a
how.
morale standpoint, they're just such a mess.
Yeah, I don't know how. Like there's you lost the game by 50. I it's I've never felt like I don't think anyone looking at this thought, okay, whoever Oklahoma City plays is gonna win a game. Um, but like you lost by 50. Like there should be some type of extra penalty for losing a playoff game by that much. Like
You lose another
that's
game right there.
yeah, or
You
like
lose a second round pick.
yeah, something. Like you should the series should just be over.
just kick them out of the league like these champs league doing soccer. You just get demoted.
Like, and this is also the problem with the play-in. Like some years we're gonna have play-ins like this, where teams that aren't good enough just sneak in. But then there's gonna be other years. Like, yeah, Oklahoma City kicked the shit out of everybody. But there's years in the West where you have to win 50 plus games to be the eighth seed. Like, those are good years for the play-in to be. This was not one of them. And this is gonna happen. It's the bottom of the West is weird. It'll be like, I mean, next year, assuming Victor's healthy, Sacramento's not making the play in. Assuming Victor's healthy, I mean, Portland may be better than Dallas next year. Like, whoever, if Utah ends up with Cooper Flag, they may be better than Dallas next year. There's a whole bunch of teams that are just going to be better um, than they were, this year. So I don't even know how. The Pacers won against Milwaukee. That series is probably over.
Yeah, no chance. But back to the Nuggets and Clippers, though. Already two great game ones and games twos. Talk to me what you're thinking about this one. Those two going back to back. Very interesting. I love the physicality of the series so far. I love seeing a healthy Kawhi and James Harden actually compete as well, especially Kawhi. Kawhi, a major factor in game two, especially. This is very interesting. Very, very interesting with two teams in the West with very different projections, with the Clippers team trying to really establish themselves and a Nuggets team trying to see what they could do after they fired their coach just a couple weeks ago.
This is the hardest series to predict. Not because the teams are both really good, but there's two things that could happen still that can swing the series. We're going to get a James Harden stinker game. It's just going to happen. It's probably going to be game three. He has too much history of doing this for it not to happen. And two, are we like, I don't want to jinx it, knock on wood, but like Kawhi may not be healthy throughout the whole season. I mean, he looks awesome. He's been awesome.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to somebody recently, and I think Kawhi is the second greatest what if in NBA history. The first one's Len Bias because he fucking died before he could
Oh
play.
yeah.
But
In terms of what though, I feel like Kawhi's a Hall of Famer, but you think like
no,
more of
he
like a
is. But
top
like,
10
but
of all
like
time?
peak Kawhi was going head to head with like mid 2010s LeBron and KD and Steph Curry, and essentially on their level. Like that's how fucking good he was. Um,
And he could say he's led two teams, one in the East, one in the
he
West, to win
beat them both
finals.
and Steph Curry like multiple times.
Yeah.
Uh, like he's that good. And and look, you can't do anything when he's going to hit all those goddamn tough shots. The problem for the Nuggets is I don't even know where you go with this. Like if Michael Porter Jr. is not going to be good in this series, where do you go? Like your bench is terrible. I mean, you don't have like you got the game one Russell Westbrook, the good and the bad. Uh,
Yeah.
I guess Jamal Murray is just never going to be 20 2023 Jamal Murray again. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. Um,
It is
he,
kind of weird, isn't it? Well, he definitely has fallen off a little bit.
I mean, Aaron Gordon is good. Jokic is just unbelievable. I mean, and this was his like worst playoff game ever, and it sucks that happened, and they still almost won that game. Uh, but I don't know, man. Like, it's hard to root against Denver, but I think I'd rather see the Clippers, like a healthy Clippers team, play this Oklahoma City Thunder team than I would whatever um, shade of Denver is left. Because this Denver team is like such it's so bad. It's so bad in like weird way. Like they can't shoot. They don't have like good enough defense. You got about as best as you could have for Russell Westbrook. Like Christian Braun's a good player. He's just too small. It's just the whole thing just collapsed. It's incredible. He's so fucking good. He should have 5 MVPs.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the thing with the politic in the NBA. Just don't want to repeat it. But yeah, we're watching a top three center of all time.
Yeah,
Maybe at the end of it, he's the very best.
he would have to win at least 3 rings, at least 3 rings to be in that conversation.
I think that's an
I don't
accurate
even
statement.
I don't even know where he was. Like next year, what do you're gonna get your first round pick back because he was hurt all season, and I don't even know where you go from any of this. But uh, he's just so good, man. It's also still like I'm never gonna get over watching him and just every moment he's on the court, he looks like he's about to die. Um, like he just does. Like he's so atypical to what we're used to seeing from like an NBA superstar. He just he really just looks like a dad playing with his kids out there.
And he just so happens to be one of the best passers. He can shoot the three. He
His
can
shooting is
box out,
unbelievable.
gets those boards, and it's also this is his hobby. Technically, he cares more about his horse racing and what's going on out in Serbia.
Yeah, I don't know. And Zubac has been awesome this year. Like he's been really good.
Yeah,
He's been good. Norman Powell's been really good. Chris Dunn's been very good.
made a crucial shot in game two. Norman Powell.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he wasn't in the most improved list with Zubac because maybe it was a minutes thing, but like at 31, you don't get to become this good. Like you don't get better at 31 like this.
Yeah. Do you think though, wherever this goes, at least the Clippers can grow a core to stay around and be one of the better teams? So much invested into them, brand new arena and all of that.
This is a much better outcome than the beginning of the season looked. Like,
Oh yeah.
um, beginning of the season, we're like, shit, they're gonna give the Oklahoma City Thunder a Cooper flag. Like, I don't know how many more years they have their picks like gone from the Paul George trade. I have to assume it's almost over because that trade was 7 6 7 years ago. Uh,
Yeah.
so even if you gave five first, you probably have like one more left. But you have to feel much better at the end of this season than you do where it started. Because things look bleak. Like imagine if they still had Paul George on this team. Uh, they would not be
It in the
as
state
good.
he's in,
No.
yeah, it would be a pretty
But
nasty work.
I don't know, man. I it's so hard for me to think that this team could be a title contender. We're 6 years into this, and every year they pull the rug. They're first off, they're the Clippers. Second off, they're relying on James Harden in the playoff. Third off, like Kawhi has not been healthy for
Like
like
the
I
whole run
understand.
as a Clipper.
Yeah, like he hasn't. I think the last time Kawhi played through the entire playoffs was the bubble,
No, that's 5 years ago. Hmm.
and they lost to the Nuggets.
Yep.
Um, it's hard, man. They're good. This is the best series, like without a doubt. These are the best game. It's gonna be. I. It's a like to me. I don't even know how to pick a winner because I can't.
Do
You
you think it's
can't.
going seven?
I think it's probably going seven. Um,
And even if you flipped a coin or gun to your head, you would
gun to
say
my head, I would say Denver. I just have I
even with the home court, without the home court, even sorry, they
I
have the home
have
court
I
advantage.
have more faith in Jokic than I do in James Harden not shitting the bed and Kawhi not getting hurt. Like Jokic just needs a passable cast around him. Like if they're just like, okay, if Michael Porter Jr. just gives a shit for like one game and Jamal Murray turns back the clock for like if they're in a game seven, Jamal Murray only has to be good for that game.
Yeah,
Like
right.
Michael Porter Jr. only has to be good for that game. Like Kawhi only has to get hurt for that game. James Harden only has to suck one time to like fuck a game up.
Well, we'll see where this all unfolds. And then just talking about the East really quick. We hit on about the Pacers and Bucks, Cavs and Heat. Do you give the Heat any chance at all to at least get a win? You think just a pure sweep there? And just what do you think about the trajectory with the Cavs and what they have grown to with mostly the same team and just adding Kenny Atkinson as the head coach? How good Evan Mobley has really turned into definitely is a big highlight for them as well. The
Also,
Cavs,
Ty
man,
Jerome.
yeah, as
Ty
him as
Jerome's been
well.
really good.
And
So
obviously Donovan Mitchell's Donovan Mitchell.
yeah, so he like let them do more. So his stats suffered a little this year. Now, in any other year, I would think that Kenny Atkinson would be the head coach, would be the coach of the year. And I know the players or whatever the non-official vote was for him. I just don't know how you don't give it to JD Bickerstaff for them winning 42 games after winning 14. Like with
Yeah.
essentially the same roster.
Yes.
Like they're so this is such an insane award year for like most of the awards. Um
Yeah, you gotta have
it's
legit
crazy.
conversations with them. But
Um this is a look. It's not going to matter till next round. They're better than the Heat. The Heat do not have the firepower to keep up with them. This is the plan in the East is like it's just the Hawks, the Heat, and the Bulls. They've played the Bulls and the Heat have played each other 3 years in a row. The Hawks,
Yeah,
the Bulls,
right.
and the Heat have been in the play-in every year except for the first one. Like they're perpetually middle of the road. And like the thing with that is they're always going to be middle of the road because there's just not like okay, maybe next year we're talking about um the 76ers if they're healthy, they're going to be better. Orlando will be better if they have, everybody healthy and they don't lose their two best players for essentially the for half the season together. Um but who under them is coming up? Like unless like the Nets get, Cooper Flag, the Hornets are never
It,
going to be good.
is
Um
it just whoever gets Cooper Flag? That's the one that you would say is the
the one
team
that's
on the rise.
I mean, pretty like listen, if he's not going to San Antonio, him in Washington would actually be good. Like I don't want to see him in Charlotte. I don't think it matters whether he's in Utah because they're going to get Dybanson next year anyway. I think that was part of because like the thing about the Luka trade was like yeah 90 minutes before it happened everyone knew and I can almost guarantee there's a handshake with the league that like Utah's getting Dybanson next year because they need him.
The Mormon connection.
Yeah,
The
because Danny Ainge like gave BYU NIL money or some shit. Um, it's yeah that like the East is just such a like even you don't even have to be competent to like fumble fuck your way into the play in the East. You just like need to win somewhere close to like 37 games and you're gonna be in it just by default.
yeah.
But no, the Heat are not good enough. They don't have enough firepower. Like they don't just like I don't even know where you go from here. Right?
Would we be crazy to say maybe a change in the coaching staff, or is Eric
I don't
Spoelstra there for
I
life with
don't think
that contract? He still runs, but I don't know. And with all the stuff with his wife, and you ever hear
oh
that rumors of him and Jaquez?
The Grizzlies lost by 19
Oh,
instead of
see,
50.
that's a more respectful.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. No, I don't think Spoelstra's good because it's not like yeah, it's cool like he's a really good coach, but they're like there's only so many times he can turn diamonds into or shit into diamonds.
Hmm.
Um, before like you got to rebuild. You can't like I know Power Island's like, oh, I'm a million years old. We don't rebuild, but like, where the fuck are you going? Like, are you gonna get Dame? Are you gonna get Giannis? Are you gonna kick the tires of Bradley Beal again? Um,
Stay
I-
away from that.
yeah, like I don't even know where they would go to like get a get something because like Terry Rozier is probably gambling his games away. Wiggins is like one of the most frustrating talents in the league. Bam just like can't shoot just at all.
Hmm.
And Tyler Hero has been awesome, but like
Yeah,
you're pretty much capped at your ceiling with Tyler Hero as your best player. Um,
and Jaquez, if he's not sleeping with the coach's wife,
is that what's
he's
going
been
on with
in.
him?
Well, that's just a rumor. I don't, but
They got
I didn't
Kellen
see
Ware.
that much of
I
there.
I said it
Mhm.
during when we did our draft coverage. Like that was a good pick. Um,
Yeah,
like that, that's something. I just don't know what the rest of like what happened. Did the Jovic kid get hurt? Like he was feisty.
I don't think so. No, I just think just the heat or circumstance from ending up as the 10th seed, being
It's
below
been a weird
expectations.
season.
Everybody's been worse. The whole Jimmy Butler fiasco was a distraction. I think it was just a bad year for them, and they just are kind of thankful that they're in the off season now.
Yeah, I think they will be. Yeah, they're not going to win a game. The top of the East and the West are going to win. I think Boston wins in five.
For
I don't know if Jason Tatum's playing game two.
No, he's not. They said he was not. He's
I
already
know
gonna
he's
be. He was sitting
questionable.
out. Yeah, they confirmed he's sitting out with that wrist injury, but
Okay,
we'll
well
be
then
day to day on that one.
that's going to be like the one. Orlando's going to get one. Um, like someone's going to go off. But I after this season, you got to get a guard in there, man, and someone's got to take France to shoot.
Yes,
Like the dude shoots 28% from threes. unless he either has to become like a full-time point guard and everyone else has to learn how to shoot, or he has to learn how to shoot.
Yeah, and a year ago when they were playing the Cavs in the playoffs last year, you and I were pretty high in where Orlando was going. Now, of course, they could still have good momentum. It's just, I don't know, this year it's almost felt like
They've been snake bitten this year. Like you lose
yeah.
both of them to the same injury. You lose Franz's brother to an ACL. I don't even remember what injury took out Suggs. Um, like it's but like next year, let's talk. If like everyone's healthy and their offense is still dog shit, I think it's a coach issue. Like
Really?
like because this would be 3 straight years of being a bad offense. Um, and I like how did you not bring Markel Fultz back into this? Um, into this when you lost like all of your guys. Uh, that just that I don't know. Wendell Carter Jr.'s there sometimes. It's just they wasted that Jet Howard pick, man.
Yes, they did. And last but not least, the Knicks and the Pistons are tied at 1 with each other. We have a Pistons team that seems to, in both game 1 and 2, own the Knicks in the first 3 quarters, and then there's a wacky fourth quarter in there with the Knicks in game 1, they 21-0 run, and then the game 2 where Knicks made crucial shots and Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench with a crucial three. Um, so interesting stuff there. How are you feeling about this? And I do think you have one team with the Pistons. I think you would agree that's one of the other teams playing house money, and a Knicks team that actually has some stakes on the line.
The Knicks will probably win in 6. I thought they were going to win in 5, but I think Detroit's probably not going to lose 2 at home. Um, so I think they'll win at 6. But I mean, the Pistons, their house money. I also don't know how much better they get. I want to say, like, just the answer to most things is I want somebody to go to San Antonio. If Giannis is not going to San Antonio, he would be awesome in Detroit. Like, he would be
Ooh.
he would be so like I know that's not like a team that anyone's talking about, and I don't know why the Bucks would trade him there, because they could probably get more some for somewhere else. But like that would be awesome because he fits like that like bruising style, and we've seen like there's been flashes of Giannis get like feisty and trying to fight people. Like that would be a fun city for him and Cade playing together. Now, would it hurt their shooting? Yeah, probably. But like I don't know. It would be fun. I don't know. I like this Detroit team. I still stand by even though Ron Holland's been good for them, I think he was the wrong pick for them.
Mhm.
Um uh but they got some interesting upside next year. Ron Holland would be better. Asora's ideally not going to have a blood clot till like he was actually like January with the blood clot. Jay Divey's not going to break his leg. Like they have some interesting,
Isaiah Stewart will keep on starting fights with people being the enforcer.
I was reading something and it's so funny.
Mhm.
Literally every time a Pistons team is good, part of their identity is we're
Oh,
just gonna fight you.
yeah, from the Bad Boy Pistons to the '04 Ben Wallace and Rashid Chauncey, Tayshaun Prince,
Yeah, like
also
it's
enforcers. So that's the key. You have to be physical in all these games, and we're seeing that right now in this series as well.
and I think this series is like just further indictment on Tibbs. Like he's
Yeah.
he just doesn't do anything. Like he just rides them into the ground. And it's weird that they went away from the Towns Brunson pick and roll. And we've had a whole season now of you traded 5 picks for Mikal Bridges. Why isn't he doing more?
Yeah. And the little bit he has, he missed crucial shots too.
Yeah, he was like this is the like we saw it in Phoenix. The ideal position for him is the third guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, OG's been awesome, at least at the end of the season. He's been awesome.
And when he actually gets the opportunities, a lot of people feel now, though it's been happening in this whole Knicks one, they're finally calling him out about JB being a ball hog. I don't know if you agree with that or not, but
No, no,
now
I think
I
I've
feel it's
said
now
this.
getting exposed.
I think I've said this on the podcast before that like while I understand the Mikal Bridges trade, the issue was they don't have another like they need a wing creator
Yeah.
because it's too much of Brunson has to do everything, and he's been really good, but like he's 6 foot. Like it's really hard to be a 6 foot guard and win 4 rounds of the playoff essentially by yourself. Like you need that other wing guy. And Towns has been fucking awesome, but he's not a creator.
For sure. He could have been better at game two, but for the most part, if he's been playing well.
Yeah,
But we do need him to get those boards, as it shows it was a crucial in the loss. When he's
they
off,
should
Nick's
really
off.
they should really be a better they're a very good rebounding team. Like Josh Hart is a really good rebounder because he doesn't have any basketball skills. His basketball skills hustle. Like fundamentally, he is not a good basketball player. He's a great hustler.
Hey, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Bridges is big, and Anobi is big. Like Towns is a good rebounder. They should beat this team because they are better than the Pistons. They will not beat Boston or Cleveland, whoever the fuck they play in the next round. Unless, I mean, if Boston's like, if Jason Tatum's like actually injured or whatever the fuck is going on with Jaylen Brown's knee, like then they may stay a chance. But they should beat this Pistons team. They're better than this Pistons team. And if they lose, you have to get rid of Tips.
Absolutely.
Like
Especially with Mike Malone available too.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably gonna blow it up and try to like bring in KD or something if they lose. I know they said like people like, oh, let's get Giannis. You don't have anything to trade for Giannis.
Not anymore. If we
You
did,
blew
but
it all for
Mikal Bridges. Yeah,
which,
it's
like,
it's important.
And I had said it, but like the Mikal Bridges, only 3 of those picks are bad. Like the 25 and the 27 pick are going to be like 20s and above. So you're not really worried about those. It's like the 29 where it starts to be a problem. But I don't know. They'll win. This was a funner Knicks team. They thought they were going to be better than they were. I think game one pretty much completely dissuaded them of that thought when the Celtics basically set
Yeah,
an NBA record.
reality set in.
And look, you go like, okay, well, Mitchell Robinson missed the whole season. Like, how? Yeah, he's not. He's kind of injury prone. You also don't want to be betting your season on Mitchell Robinson. Uh, I don't know. I think a more creative coach would have gotten more out of them.
Do you even think, say they get swept in the second round, is it time for Thibs to go? If the ceiling's always the second round, I mean, you
I
got
guess
to
it
think of
depends.
something.
It depends on the sweep. Like if we're talking like what the Thunder are doing to the Grizzlies, where they're just getting their ass kicked every single game, yeah,
50 points,
probably.
19
But
points.
if it's if we're talking, you know, 8 points at overtime game, 4 points, something like if the games are close, you can in theory like say, hey, a couple bounces our way, we would have right been in there. I don't think it's true because I don't think they're better than Cleveland or Boston or Oklahoma City.
That's where that other score has to come in.
Right. And I don't know where you get it at this point. And it's not like they haven't tried. Like it just hasn't. And I think that's what they got to do in the offseason is get Bridges more involved. And maybe they had that originally before they traded for Towns like right before the season started.
Yeah.
So maybe with a full offseason they'll have a better idea of what they want to do.
And ultimately, after the years gone by, it seems like we won the trade. Dante went down. Julius Randle. It's just we'll see what those picks are.
Oh yeah, no. They absolutely won that trade. Like even like regardless of the contract and stuff, Towns is better than Randle. He just is. And he's played awesome. And will he play this awesome every season while he's there? Probably not. But could you get, are you penciling him in for 20 and 10 at minimum for the next like 3 years? Yeah, probably. All right, is your defense going to suffer? Absolutely. He is not a good defender. It is one of the more mind-boggling things that he is a bad defender.
Yeah. And again, always just battling the soft allegations. You really need him.
I don't know if you could really call him soft as more this like he hasn't been soft. He's been good this year. I don't really think soft is an issue for him.
All-star starter, much approved, and maybe even get an All-NBA nod, a second or third team. We'll take that.
I think Brunson made the cut, so I don't think you're getting both of them.
Well, I'd rather have Brunson at that point, but you definitely hope these players keep evolving. These series are going to get more competitive. we've hit everything we need to hit on today. And then also just we did see it was announced earlier in the last couple of days that Cooper Flag will declare the NBA for the NBA draft. We'll talk about that when we get closer to the day, but
But
it's a big
even
deal.
like this draft is gonna be good. Next year's, I think it's just gonna be like absolutely bonkers. Um, and then I don't even know who's in 20. Because I think Melo's kid's next year.
Yeah, you know better than me, but shoot. The 2028 draft. We're already getting projections there and a Carmelo Anthony son, huh?
It's is that what he? Yeah. It's well, Bryce is potentially next year, but I
Hmm.
don't think he's good. Like not in the way that like people think because Bronny's like a good player. Like for the 55th pick, he's fine. Uh,
Yeah, I feel he's proven himself, had some pretty solid G League games. Still needs some more time to develop, but
yeah, he's very
he was
clearly
the 55th pick.
he's very clearly an NBA player. Is he a good NBA player? We don't know yet.
Yeah.
But he's very clearly an NBA player. And I thought Bryce was better than he was based on like
That's what I always heard too, but I haven't seen any tape of him or
nothing
anything
that
like
I've
that.
seen of the stats and stuff imply that he's any good. But we'll see. That Arizona team is going to be good. So
Did you see with Houston versus Duke, Cooper Flag, is she get much blame for that? Does that hurt his legacy? Or it was just some good defending that caused that, or he caused that foul?
no, I mean I didn't really have time to watch all those games, but I don't think it hurts his legacy. He's awesome. I
Yeah.
think he may have come out of this season better than people thought he was. He had more shot creation than people thought he had. Also like end of games he's bad. He like just turned 18.
Yeah, right.
He's like super young. I think if anyone got hurt in that series, it's their center. Who look, I'm gonna be honest. I gotta be if you're thinking of drafting him, you got to talk to the State Department. And this is like not being like an anti-Trump guy. They revoked all the visas from people from South Sudan. Like I don't know how his immigration status would affect him being drafted here. Like this is not like me being conspiratorial. This is like an actual issue that may affect him if he goes back to college or if he gets drafted. Like what is his immigration status going to be going forward? Um, it's
Isn't
just
that
like a weird.
disappointing how that's a factor?
Listen, I if we go back to a political podcast, I can rant on that for a little while. Um,
I'll
but
save it for you. We'll have an opportunity this summer.
but yeah, no, I think this class is gonna be fun. The Spurs have two picks, because they have the Hawks pick, which is like 12 or 13, I don't remember what the coin flip was, and then they have at least eight. So they could jump into the top four. I'm gonna be very clear, like Ace Bailey scales the hell out of me. Um,
From Rutgers. He
yeah,
scares you. You don't
like
think he's going to be that guy? How about Derek Harper instead? You'll take
I
him?
think Dylan Harper, I think he's a safer pick. The Ace Bailey thing is like we've just seen it, man. Like he's a little different. Like he's not the like Josh Jackson and Stanley Johnson's. Like he's super athletic and a defender, but he can't shoot. He can like only shoot, and it's only like contested shots. He's basically like better Derek Williams, modern age Michael Beasley type, but not even like Michael Beasley was fucking awesome.
Hmm.
Like he was good in college and he was good in the league. I don't know if he's gonna be like that. Like he doesn't do anything. Um, I think it is certainly an indictment on the program that you have two potential top five picks and you can't even make the tournament. Um,
Yeah, huh? That was very telling. And I saw that Big 12 on how they got knocked out. Embarrassing.
but look, if we end up with them, we end up with them. I certainly think it's going to be the top three is it's Cooper, it's Dylan Harper, and then I think it's probably Edgecombe. It might have the edge at three.
Okay.
Because he's
Well,
awesome. I think he's going to be so much fun to watch, even if he's not even like good for a little, because I don't know how good he is. I think his athleticism and his like fuck you, I'm the man stuff from like when he was playing in the Bahamas, like defensively he's great. Like I think his floor is like Derek White, just like
ooh,
super athletic Derek White. Um,
that's not a bad thing.
no,
And we also hope that your coach Pop, I know he had another health scare.
Yeah,
I hope he's okay.
I think he's done. I like if like I understand he had a stroke, but if you're like having syncopated episodes, which is what it sounds like, in like this look, man, working in the NBA is a rigorous job. And I love Pop. I wish he went out on better circumstances. He's
Hmm.
one of what the four best coaches of all time, three best coaches of all time.
You could put him
Uh,
in Mount Rushmore. 2 decades of championship, 3 decades of championships.
yeah, just you know him and Phil and Red Auerbach, like like up there with that type of shit. I if he hangs it up, he hangs it up. I think he. I thought he was going to do it years ago. Um, He's still the best coach in our history. Still one of the greatest coaches ever. Like everybody, most of the players who played for him love him.
Forever a legend.
Yeah, forever a legend. It's unfortunate that he's not going to get to win his a title with his third generational superstar. But
Yeah,
like,
that would have been something else.
there's some interesting
Hmm.
candidates out there. I don't know
Might be
how
Mike
much.
Malone, as I just
Maybe Mike
mentioned.
Malone. I don't know how fair it is to not give Mitch another shot. This was such a weird season. And like for people like, oh, Devin Vassell and Jeremy Sohan were. First off, if you don't like Jeremy Sohan, you're just like you just don't understand how basketball's played. Like
Hmm.
he's awesome. He's
And how
like
about? Oh, sorry. You're saying?
he's like exactly the type of guy you want. Like just as a mid level, like I'm gonna do all the dirty work type shit. Um, and Vassell hasn't had a stable, um, what's like role in like years. Also, he had four different roles this year. He was hurt in the offseason. He came back. He was coming off the bench. And then he was like kind of finding a groove. And then they got Fox. And then he was still kind of finding a groove. And then Wemby went down. And then Fox went down. And it was just a weird season for him and Sohan.
How about Chris Paul? Also 20 years in the league, 82 games this year.
Listen, Chris Paul, not the same player. Really helpful for this team.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I don't know if he's going to come back. If he does, I hope he comes off the bench. Because Castle should probably be starting with Fox. But him and Harrison Barnes was awesome this year. Like, like he was very good. Like short of getting like basically because I think the projected is either we're getting Trey Johnson or Con Knippel at 8. I have no problem with Harrison Barnes coming back. Like getting somebody getting a big to back up. Like if you want to bring Biombo back, bring Biombo back. Like he's fine for like 15 minutes a game. Uh, but no, Harrison Barnes was good. Chris Paul was good. Um, hell of a year from him. I think he helped the guys a lot. But like on the court, he just can't. He has no burst. He just can't get by guys.
Future's bright. Future's bright, faces. Great work as always. Check back in next week with another NBA postseason talk. We'll go from there. Let's hope we could get some competitive series besides just the Clippers and Nuggets. And I do think it'll start turning up. But great work, and we'll see you soon.
Yep. All right. Have a go.